to the Mohali MuleSoft meetup, and today's topic is going to be very interesting topic one, which is a MuleSoft Intelligent Document Processing, which is the latest offering by MuleSoft. So we will deep dive into MuleSoft Intelligent Document Processing in this meetup. Yeah, Venkatesh, let's move ahead. So this is a safe harbor statement. So both speaker and host, so we are organizing this meetup in our individual capacity only, and we are not representing our companies here. And this presentation is going to be only for the learning purposes, and we do not hold any responsibility that whatever the solution it is going to be presented in this meetup will work for your business requirements. And this presentation is not meant for any more promotional activities as well. Yep. So as a general housekeeping rule, I have started the recording of this meetup, and the recording will be uploaded to our events page within 24 hours. And I will request everyone to make this session more interactive, and you can just ask the questions, and we'll try to get them answered as soon as possible. Okay. And after this meetup is done, you will get a feedback email also. So please fill up the feedback as it's like it will help us to improve in the upcoming meetups. Yep. Next. Okay. So yeah, so this is about me. So my name is Vikas, and I'm working as a technology architect in Infosys. I'm a MuleSoft ambassador and a MuleSoft meetup leader for Mohali. I'm MuleSoft certified integration and platform architect, and overall I got around 14 years of integration experience. Like primarily, I've worked on IBM tools like IBM Sterling Integrator. Then I worked on TIPCO, and nowadays like I'm working as a MuleSoft architect. I love sharing my knowledge on MuleSoft related topics. So I have created my own YouTube channel, which is your integration buddy. Okay, and I have got a link over. If you get some time, do check out the videos I have posted on my channel. Next, please. So today we have our speaker with us, Venkatesh Jojarao. Okay. First of all, thank you so much, Venkatesh, for taking out time on the weekend and choosing this topic to share your knowledge with the audience. Thank you so much, and I will request you to please go ahead and introduce yourself. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Vikas. Glad to be here as always. Thanks for this opportunity. Hello, everyone. This is Venkatesh Zizarao. I have around 10 years of industry. I am a MuleSoft mentor as well. I have completed MCD level 1 to integration associate, then both platform as well as integration architect. And recently I have completed the hyper automation specialist, AI associate, and Salesforce AI specialist as well. I do write blogs on Medium, so if you would like, you can check on my blogs. So recently I have wrote about IDP as well, so we'll go through that in a while. So that's all about me. Now let's get started with our agenda. So in today's session, we'll talk about IDP. So before directly jumping on IDP topic, let's try to understand why we need this. Okay, we'll just put on some hypothetical scenario, a use case through which we'll try to understand why exactly IDP. Then we'll see what is MuleSoft IDP. And based on my understanding, I have came up with one development lifecycle for MuleSoft IDP. We'll quickly go through that as well. Then we'll cover some quick IDP fundamentals. Then we'll just touch base upon prompt engineering overview. I know most of us already know what is prompt engineering, so we'll not take much of time there. And finally, we'll jump on the demo part. So now, on the need of MuleSoft IDP, right? I have created one hypothetical organization here. Let's say some power take. Okay, so this some power take mostly deals with the metering services. Okay, so whenever any issue occurred on the metering services, customer will reach out to some power take help desk. They will raise a concern, and then some power take align or assign some technician. So whenever any issue happens on the customer property meters, okay, so field technician will come to their property. They will do the analysis, they will do a troubleshooting, and they will fix the issues. Okay, while fixing issues, if they need any additional materials, all that thing they will. And at the end of the job, they will put one report on a paper. Again, in that report they will kind of put what was the issue, what all the troubleshooting steps they have followed, if they have used any materials for costing purpose, they have to make a note of it, and then how they have fixed the issue. So all those detail they will be putting on the paper, and at the end they have to daily, at the end they have to submit that paper report on a paper to a office. So they have to manually visit the office and they have to submit that report to office. Once that has been submitted, there would be multiple analysis analyst which will gather that report and do a manual entry to a database. Okay, so now as you can see here, so this is the existing steps or existing process this some power take follows. And in this particular area where we are seeing a lot of manual processing of data, so technician has to go to office, submit a paper, then analyst has to do a manual entries and put that data in the database. So this manual processing of data, we will see how we can avoid through MuleSoft plus MuleSoft IDP. Okay, so this is the problem statement for our today's session. So now, before jumping on the solutioning of this problem statement, let's try to understand what is MuleSoft IDP first. Okay, so what exactly it does is it loads the unstructured document, like we have a purchase order, we have invoices, or any other unstructured data. It will load that, and out of that unstructured data, it will extract the content and produce a structured response. Okay, and these two steps can be reuse we can reuse these two steps through API. So we can use this as a template, and we can reuse this through our MuleSoft applications, RPA, or any other system. We can reuse this. So in simple term, if I have to put IDP, it will just load the unstructured data, and based on our defined schema or requirement, it will pull out the content and give us a structured response. Okay, on a high level, this is a simple definition of this IDP and what it does. Okay, and if you have any question, guys, feel free to drop in the chat, or you can ask. Okay, so this is what about MuleSoft IDP. Now, as I said, right, I have just came up with development life cycle for IDP, just for better understanding what we usually do. Okay, so in first of all, in design and development phase, we'll create a new or update a existing document action. We'll see what is document action is in the subsequent slide, but consider this as an asset, like we have a ramal and other asset like traits and all, right? So similar kind of that, we have a document action as asset, through which we will kind of develop and design our IDP schemas. Okay, so once we have created a document action, we'll define the schema. So we will have two options. Again, we will see that in the subsequent slide. We can choose a pre-built schema which MuleSoft IDP offer out of the box, or else we can bring our own schema. We can just build our own schema through a prompts. Okay, so once the design and development is completed, within the IDP user interface itself, we could do our unit test. So we could upload our sample document. Once we have uploaded our sample document, we could do a run, and we'll check whatever schema we have defined, whatever attributes we have defined, if that are extracted correctly or not. Unless our result is satisfied, enough satisfactory, we could repeat this process. And once we are satisfied with our result, we'll just move on to the next steps, where we will publish our asset to exchange. Same asset can be consumed in other integration like via MuleSoft or RPA, or other third-party system can also expose via API. So this is called we as a deployment and discovery phase. And at the end, as you know, it's just a document extraction. What we are doing majorly here is extracting the content from a document by utilizing the AI algorithm. So there is always probability that the content what will extract is not always correct. See, 90% it would be correct, but there is always probability, right, that we may get a wrong data set or we may not get what we are expecting. So in that case, there is a review key in place. So I'll tell you the criteria when the document will go to a review queue in the subsequent slide. Okay. So once the document is in the review queue, we'll just monitor that document. If needed, we'll do a correction and we'll just resubmit that document. So here we have we need to have a manual intervention where some analysts or business team can come in and check whatever documents are in the review queue and resubmit that. So on high level, this is the development life cycle for the document action.
So Venkatesh, before we move forward, we have a few questions in the chat window. If you can please check.
Okay, sure.
Yep, from Senthil.
Does this do only PDF documents and need a image? So Santil, the data which I have collected was as of October and November. So by that time, it was allowed PDF and image, yes. But I guess in the recent release, they are allowing other files also, Santil. So maybe at the end of the session, right,
Mm-hmm.
we'll quickly go through the release notes because after October, I could see there are a couple of more releases has been done on IDP, so we can understand that from
Okay,
there,
so other
Santil.
files also supported. Okay, fine. Good question.
I believe that's what I saw in the release, but we will quickly check at the end of the call. I hope that's okay,
Okay.
Santil. Sure. Okay. Can you give example of structure versus semi-structure versus unstructured data? So unstructured data, structured data is basically what we have with JSON, right? Ajay. And unstructured data, what we see in the PDF. If I can quickly show you, let me just down. So I have given some. I have just created one custom form for me. So if you see, right, this is a jpg file, this is the image which is in the binary format. So this is a unstructured data, as you can see here, right? And structured data is nothing but our json structure or xml structure which we can uh, programmatically easily read or write, right? But this is a binary data. So explicitly, this is called as unstructured data, which we can load it to the IDP, and behind the scene IDP will use the AI algorithms, different AI algorithms or MuleSoft Einstein, and it will just extract data from this particular unstructured document. I hope that makes sense, Ajay. I believe
Sorry, Venkat, can you
it's
repeat, please,
yes.
what you're saying?
No, no.
So my
The
understanding is like this,
question.
Venkat. Textured
Mhm.
document is nothing but our Excel sheet or database, right? That
Yes.
is a textured one. Unstructured one is a PDF files, and semi-structured is a JSON XML. That's my understanding.
Yeah, yeah. As in the JSON and XML also I have considered as a structured one, but that's the semi structure as you
Okay.
said, right? And the Excel
Mm-hmm.
is the structure one, as you said, right? And unstructured is
Mm-hmm.
again the PDF. If we programmatically read it, right, we'll just read it as a binary. But when we feed
Mm-hmm.
it into a MuleSoft IDP behind the scene as it uses AI, it will pull out the content from this unstructured document. So yeah, that's what I was trying to say. But mistakenly, I might have said JSON as a structured one. Sorry
Okay.
for that.
Semi-structured. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, same. Yeah, thanks for correcting something. So Ajay, I hope that answers your question. What Santil has said.
Yep, all good. I
Okay,
think yep, he responded, Venkatesh. Thank you. Let's move forward.
sure. Thank you, and thanks again, Santil. Okay, so yeah, this is what we have seen. Move on to the next one. So these are the some fundamentals of this MuleSoft IDP. Okay, So we have this document action. So as I said, right behind the scene, it uses multiple AI agents to scan a document, filter out the field, and return a structured response as a JSON object. So consider this document action as one of the asset of MuleSoft, like we have RAML and all. Within that, we will build our schemas. Okay, and there are two types of document actions we have: pre-built and custom. In a pre-built, out of the box, you'll get invoice template, purchase order template. So this follows the industry standards for invoice and purchase order. So it almost have all the fields in it. And then we have a custom. If our document doesn't match pre-built template, we can go ahead and make a use of custom generic template, and we could create our own schema out of it with the help of prompts. Okay. So now confidence scores. As I said, right, we have that reviewer in place. So whenever we pull out information, whenever the IDP pull out information from a document, it will assign the confidence scores against each attribute. So when we go on the document action page, we will see the how that score we can have the threshold and all. So it will assign that confidence score. So it's a probability that IDP has properly extracted the value. So the percentage of probability, how much IDP is correct, how much it feels it's correct to extract that content, like 70%, 80%, 90, 99%. Okay. And then the reviews. So I said, right, there are some criterias through which document will move to a. One of the criteria is that if the confidence score of particular attribute is lower than the configured threshold value. Let's say when I'm configuring an attribute in document action, I'll say the confidence score should be 80% and more than that. And if it comes below that threshold, then that document will move to a reviewer queue. Another thing, if I marked any attribute as a required in my document, and if that particular attribute is missing, in that case also document will move to a reviewer queues. Now the prompt, right? So prompt is nothing but we will ask some questions in the natural language, and the AI will respond with the uh, answers with the relevant answers back. So that's a prompt. Okay, this will be used to this will be mostly used in the generic template, where we could give a prompt and extract, and the AI will extract the content for us. Okay, and you can take a decision whether you can reuse the existing document action, or you have to create a new one. If with some small modification, you could reuse the existing document action for multiple documents, go ahead and reuse that. But if you see there are considerable changes required, right, then it's always recommended to create a new document action. Okay, so these are the few fundamental concepts of MuleSoft IDP. Now, let's try to understand how this document processing works. Okay, so it follows two steps document processing. So, first, we submit a document to a MuleSoft IDP. I'm talking with respect to the IDP APIs. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll publish a document to IDP. Behind the scene, IDP will process that document, and once the document is ready, once the content has been extracted, we'll retrieve the result, we'll retrieve the structured data back from the IDP. Okay, so it follows this two-step process. So we have two options that through which we could implement this two-step process in our integration. First, you submit a document. So this is the first option, where you submit a document. In a response, we'll be getting a execution ID from the IDP. Store that execution ID within your application. Keep on pulling IDP with the same execution ID until the response is ready to consume. So this is option one. In this option, we need to make sure we have some kind of temporary storage in our like in MuleSoft we have object store, and then we may have to have some kind of a polling mechanism which will keep on polling to IDP get API uh, to see whether the data is ready to picked up or not. And in option 2, what we could do when we are submitting a document, along with that we could submit a callback URL. So this callback URL, we have to expose one endpoint from our site. In this case, MuleSoft side, I have exposed one URL, and that will act as a webhook. So whenever the IDP is ready, okay, IDP has processed the document and the response is ready to consume, IDP will invoke this callback URL, and along with that, it will send a execution ID. So at the end of the session, I'll show you my blogs, and there I have captured all these details, how the request and response look like. Okay, so IDP will invoke this callback URL and send the execution ID as part of a payload. In MuleSoft, we write a logic based on the execution ID. Will make a call to retrieve result. We will make a call to IDP and get the results. So in this demo, for today's demonstration purpose, I went with the option number 2. And I believe because option number 1 was already covered by Shruti in one of the meetup that was happened last year, if I'm not wrong, right? Because so that's why I went with option number 2 for today's session.
Yep, fine.
Okay, cool. So any question on this, guys? Okay. Then, before we jumping on right to the demonstration, let's try to understand what all permissions are needed. Okay, so we have to go to, as we all know, right, from where we assign the permission. But still, I have a breadcrumbs path here. So we'll go to access management. We'll select a user. We'll edit a permission and provide a permission. So there are three types of permissions we have: manage action, build action, execute publish action. So in the manage action, the user will have a complete access to IDP, and he or she can assign the reviewer permissions as well. Okay, for all documents. In build action, user can create, edit, and publish document action and assign reviewers to the action. In execute and published action, it's enable user to execute a published document and retrieve result of the execution. Okay, so I have just prepared a short video which will just show us how we could assign the permissions. So I went to the user, and in the user I'm just clicking on the edit permissions, and here I'll just search for documents, and I'll be assigning all three permissions against my user. Okay, so once I'll just click on done, and that's it. Okay, so now we understand from the UI level what all permissions are needed. Now if we are intended to call the APIs, then we need to understand what all permissions are needed and how we could access that via the IDP API via the APIs. Okay, so first of all, we need to create a connected app with this execution published action permission. So again, I have added one short video here. So we will go to connected app, then we'll just click on the create app button. Then here I'll be giving the name of my applications here. So I'll be naming it as MuleSoft IDP test app, and it will act on behalf of its own. So it's a client credentials, and then finally I'll be assigning a permission executed published action. And once it's created, we'll just review it at the end and just add a scope. And once you have saved it, you will see the client ID and secret has been created on the page, and from here we could acquire our client ID and secret. I know most of us already know how to create a connected app. Just thought of showing this here. So now this is how we have created a connected app. Now we are ready to jump into a demo and see how we can add a document. Just before going there, a quick touch base on this prompt engineering overview, right? So as you already know, it's just a question answers what we do with the chat gpt or the any gpt product, right? We will give a prompt with a natural language kind of a question, and in the response we'll get the answer to our questions. Okay, so these are some tips for writing a good prompt, and I have attached one reference link also. If you are interested, you can go through this as well. And this prompt, right, in IDP, it can be configured to enhance and refine the data extraction process by asking questions using a natural language. So when we create a custom document action, right, we'll see how we will utilize this prompt. So we'll directly jump on to configuring the document action now. Then we'll see how we will publish it to Exchange. Then to address our problem statement of some power take, we'll see. I have created one small design. We'll go through that, and then we'll give a I'll give a quick code walkthrough based on design. I have created one small code base as well, and we'll see. We'll jump on to a demo where we will see how the document extraction will happen. Okay. So before moving on this part, anyone has any questions?
We don't have any, Venkatesh. Let's move forward.
Cool. So now, what I'll do, I'll quickly go through. So as you all know, we will log into any one platform and we'll just click on intelligent document processing. Okay. So now I have already created one document action for demo purpose. But what I'll do, just for demonstration sake, we'll just create one more here. Okay. And instead of, as I said, right, we have uh, a standard one and the custom one. And out of the box, MuleSoft already provide invoice. MuleSoft IDP already provides invoice and purchase order, where we can see a pre-built schema in it. But for today's demonstration, we will go to a generic one. Okay. Unfortunately, I couldn't show you how we can bring up the schema from Einstein trust layer, because I don't have access. So we'll just go with the basic one what we have uh, uh, with me. Okay. So I'll just create a demo form. Okay. Once I click on create, this will be loaded. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just select a file. Let's say field report. Okay. So this is my the document where I have requester details. What was the problem, whether it was urgent or not. Then we have the technician details. Okay. And what was the remarks, how it got resolved, and what all the cost and total spent time, along with some dates. Okay. So now what I'll do, I'll just click on add, and I'll just ask one question to the uh, IDP. Okay. Let me the requester name. Okay, sorry, this is name. I'm touching it after a long time. I'm really sorry. So this would be the key. So when we get the structured response, so again, whatever key name he'll give, that will be put as a key in the JSON attribute or object. Okay. And here I'll be typing out my questions. And as I said, right, we have a confidence score. So here we could give the threshold of that confidence. Okay. Here by default we go with 80%, and then we can also mention whether it's a required or not. So let's mark it as a required and add it. Okay. Like this, we could add details about all other attributes that I have already done in the other document action. I'll quickly show you that in a minute. Okay. So now let's say I have completed my keys. I have built in my custom schema. So I'm calling this as a custom schema. Then I'll just quickly click on run, and we'll see how it looks like, whether it will be able to extract it or not. So as you can see on the right hand side, with the confidence of 100%, IDP was able to extract the name of the requester, which is Captain America. And if you can see, if I click on here, it will highlight from which area it has extracted the field. Okay. And again, you can define number of schema. There is a restriction on the limit of prompts. Maybe I have one PPT on that also, on what all known facts we should know about the IDP. So we'll go through that at the end. uh, but I guess if I'm not wrong, we could define up to 30 prompts. Okay. and then we could out of the number of prompts, we could just hide it, or we could make it visible. If we hide it, then it won't come as part of a response. Okay. Now once the prompt has been defined, and the schema has been defined, and we have tested and it's working as it's as expected, we could add a reviewer. You just have to go to add a search for the reviewer here. So search here. Oh, sorry, I wanted to add my name here. Okay, so we could click on add and we can save. Okay, so as you can see, for this document, reviewer has been there. So unless and until you add reviewer, it won't allow you to save a document and publish it. So this is one step you have to follow. Then I'll save the document. Once I have saved the document, I'll just publish it to the exchange. Let's see how it looks like. It will take few seconds. It's the same process what we follow to publish RAML to exchange, right? It follows this. So the document has been published. Okay. So let's see how the document looks like in exchange. So now this is the demo form. So if you go to summary, as I said, right, it follows two steps for document processing. First, you will submit a document. It will do a processing in the background. It, as in the IDP, will do a processing in the background. And in the second step, you will retrieve a document. So as soon as we published it to the exchange, it has created a two endpoint. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll show you the document which I have created for demonstration purpose. This is a field form. Okay, let's go to the edit, and here I have added the other fields like end date, is urgent, then the location, agent name, start date, cost, phone number, requested by, issue detail, requested date, total time spent. Okay, so somewhere I have read it that we could see in the prompt, we have a single shot or multi-shot learning. We can feed in some data, and we could ask prompt to give us the data in that format. So we could follow the same thing here as well, but we need to integrate Salesforce Einstein to our IDP here. So as I said, I don't have that access, so I couldn't show this in the current demo. But maybe if needed, I'll get the access and we can plan in maybe in next sessions. Okay. So now what I'll do, I'll load the same file again. Okay, and we'll just quickly run and see how whether it will be able to extract the details role attribute or not. Okay, as you can see, we it has able to extract details from all the fields. So if I see the date, right, when this was completed, you can see the completed date is here. Then whether it's urgent or not, it is extracting from this checkbox. Okay, yes, I have checked it as urgent, that's why it's extracted from there. Then the get me the location details, it has the location details. Okay, some park Nanded. Okay, then agent name, it is picked up from here. So it is able to fetch all the details, right? And if we want to see the exchange document for this one, it's the same only. It has produced the two endpoint. Okay, so now we have gone through this configuration, and we have see how we have published it to exchange. I would like to quickly showcase the MuleSoft design walkthrough. Anyone has any question till this part?
Yeah, we do have a Venkatesh. So do we have do we have to write a separate prompt for each required field in NLP?
No, we could do, but it's not mandatory. As I was saying here, right? I have tried to get all the details within a single form, with the expected structure. So identify key elements from the specified document and return them in the JSON format. Do not create a new information. Provide answer only from the text provided. The JSON format is as follows: report data and then requested by. Replace this value with the requested by. So within a single prompt, we could achieve that also. But I never tried it because I don't have the MuleSoft instant access on my current licensing. Okay, but I believe we could achieve this also. So in MuleSoft IDP documentation, I have seen that they have given this kind of examples as well. So answer to your question, no, it's not needed to write down prompt for each and every attribute. But as I don't have access to this Einstein, so I have went with. I hope that answers the queries.
Yep. Thank you, Venkatesh.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so we have covered this till this part. Now let's move on to the design walkthrough. So before going there, we are trying to address this problem with the design what I'm going to showcase now. Okay. So where is my design? Okay, so this is the design. So now what we are planning to do, uh, we are going to ask a agent whenever they are done with the report, they can take a snap, they can take a photo of that particular report and send it via email. Okay, so currently I'm sending it to a Gmail ID, and in the MuleSoft application I'll be polling that I'll be polling over a email, and I'll try to pick that attachment from my MuleSoft application. Once I have picked up the attachment, once I picked up the form, I'll prepare the payload as per the IDP structure. Okay, so instead of HTTP requester, I'm using the IDP connector. So once we have asset on the exchange, we could add that as a connector in Anypoint Studio. So I went with the connector. Once I have prepared a payload, I'll be sending a document to the IDP. So now, as I said, right, we have option to pass on the callback URL. So along with the file, I'll be passing on the callback URL. So I have exposed one endpoint IDP notification in the MuleSoft application that is protected with the API key authentication within a MuleSoft on the MuleSoft API gateway. So I'll be providing this callback URL to the IDP. Now, this document will be submitted to IDP, and behind the scene, so once it's submitted to IDP, IDP will respond back with the execution ID. So here our flow ends, or submission flow ends, and behind the scene, IDP will process that document and extract the data. Okay. Once the extraction is completed, it will call MuleSoft URL, and as part of this, it will send the execution ID. So once we have a call on the callback URL, the exposed URL notification one, will with the help of execution ID, we will again call MuleSoft IDP, will extract a document which will have a JSON structure, uh, and within that we will be having a status attribute. Here we will verify whether the document has extracted successfully. There are different statuses given in the IDP documentation. Let me quickly check. Okay, so these are all statuses we have. Okay, so what I'm saying, if it's a succeed, then only we will consider that document extraction is successful. Any other status, if it comes, we will say that a manual review required. So whenever any manual review required, IDP will not send out of the box any email to the user, to a reviewer. Okay, so we need to have our custom logic. So that's why I have wrote one code and logic in the and I'll be sending email on my to my reviewer through MuleSoft only. And if it's a successful, it will insert data to a database. So I don't have a database, so for this demo I made a use of object store. Okay, so now once the mail has been sent to a reviewer, a manual action required from reviewer has to log into MuleSoft IDP, do a manual review, and it will make a data correction and then submit a document. So as soon as it will submit a document, again MuleSoft callback URL will be invoked with the execution ID. Again, we will reuse the same API with from the execution ID. Will extract the data. Now the status will be successful. Then we'll insert data to a database. In our case, it's an object store. So, anyone has any question on this design, guys? Okay. So now, okay, yeah, was it you, Vikas?
No question, Venkatesh. I think
Okay,
it's
sure.
self-explanatory.
Sure. So now we have seen this design walkthrough. It will quickly check the code. We'll have a code walkthrough. Okay. So in the RAML, I have created three endpoints. So this is for the notification, which will receive from IDP, and just whatever data I have stored in the object store that I'm trying to extract from this two endpoint. Okay. So before going to the uh, IDP notification endpoint, let's try to understand how we will pull the attachment from the email. So I'm using this on email IMAP operations and the connector. So once email has been sent to my email ID, it will keep on pulling on my email, and then I'll I'll extract the attachment. I'll just see if the attachment is present or not, because I'm only interested in the attachment from that email ID. So I'll check here if attachment. So I have created this variable, right? If this variable size is greater than 0, then only I'll go with this route and publish, or else I'll just log the message. Now if the attachment is present, transforming that in the required format, okay, here, and then I'll be having some metadata. So when I'm sending these details to the IDP, I'll be using this one. Okay. Then I'll be preparing the payload. So as you can see here, it's a multi-part form data. In one of the part, be sending the callback details. So I'll be sending the URL of my callback. Then I'll be sending the file content, where I'll be sending the name of the file, the type is file, the name of the file, okay, and what would be the content of that file that I'll be sending. That we have captured in our file metadata variable, and then the content of the file. Okay, so this I'll be passing on to the IDP connector, post IDP connector. So these are the config be using: host, port, then the client ID and secret. What we have created, what we have obtained from the connected app. Okay, and this is the access token URL. Okay, now we will publish this document. Okay, behind the scene, IDP will pick up that and process, and whenever it's ready, it will publish that document by call, not publish, sorry. It will send a notification along with the execution ID to this MuleSoft endpoint. It's a patch method. It has to be a patch method. It's IDP support only patch method, and this resources you can have anything here. Okay, so once the request has came, we'll first of all extract the execution ID. Okay, and based on that execution ID, we will extract the structured response, the response which is ready to consume now. And then, as I showed in the diagram, we'll first of all check the status of that particular document. If it succeed, then only we'll get the details out of that document. uh, okay, I have written it as a dynamically, so I'll be extracting this. So I'll show you how the structure look like and in my one of the block document, and will store into a object store. If it's not succeeded, we'll drop a email to a reviewer. Okay, and these are just get call to extract whatever we have in the object store. So we have covered the code walkthrough also. So any question on the coding part, guys? Anyone? Okay, cool. Okay, sure. So
How
now,
and can you show the configuration of that IDP connector?
sorry.
Can you show the configuration of IDP connector?
Yeah, sure. Yes. So we have host port, then client ID secret and token URL. Any question on this? Sorry, I don't know who asked that question. Sorry, I can't see the
Yeah,
name.
I'm
It, it was Nikhil. Nikhil, can you please speak a bit louder?
So
yeah,
Nikhil, all good, right?
yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks.
sure. Yeah, thanks, Nikhil. Yeah. So I was saying the code walkthrough is done, right? Let's quickly jump on to a demo. So as explained in the design, right? We will send an attachment and we'll see how this works. Okay. So I have already created a form. So I will be covering two scenario, one with the positive scenario where we have all the fields and one with the missing one. So this is the field report where we have all the data filled in, and then we have a report where one of the data is missing. Requested by I have just erased it. Okay, so we'll cover this two scenario. So what I have done. So again, another thing I wanted to show you. I'm only pulling out the email which will match the pattern in the subject. So my subject has to start with the field report. Only that email I'll be pulling out. Okay. So I'll just quickly go to my email. Okay. I'll just draft the email. And this is my email ID, organization email ID where I'll be sending the report. Field report. Meetup one. Okay. And first I'll add a field report, a proper one. Okay. And before this call I have did some testing, so you will find one record already here. Okay. And once we have posted this, we will see this one also. Okay, so we should see two records. Now I have sent this email, so I'll just wait if it has received on my other email, and then we'll jump on to the logs. Okay, so I can see it has been received here. So I'll just go to a runtime manager and we'll see the logs quickly. Okay, just here we have that. So it will take few seconds. Okay. To as I am using a polling, right? Polling the email. So it may take up to a minute or two to pull out the data from the email. So we'll just wait here and we'll see. Okay. Uh, uh, Meanwhile, it's coming up, right? What I could do, I could quickly show you the structure. Okay, how the structure look like, because it will take definitely a minute. Okay, so once the data has been extracted, right? So these are the details I have wrote in my blog. Okay, how we could make a use of postman collection, and we could do all this thing, right? So this is how I will be publishing a document, multiform data, where I'll be give all this detail. Okay. And once I got a execution ID, and when I use a execution ID, right, I can see I'll be getting response in this format. So I was talking about this status. Okay, so if succeeded, then we'll push it into a database or else send it to the reviewer. It will look like this. uh, 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 the whatever attribute name we have given, right, that will come as a key here, and in the answer we will be finding the actual value, and we could see the prompt also, the questions what we have given in the prompt, right, that also we could see here. Now let me quickly see if we have pulled that document already. No, we have not received the document. Okay, meanwhile it's coming up. So is the the data when we pull out from the IDP through a retrieve call. But when IDP send a notification, right, I'll quickly show you that as well, how that request look like, request structure. So we'll get request in this format from IDP. It will send the execution ID, okay, action ID and the version. So we'll be using this execution ID here. Okay. Now let's see. We have that already. Okay, we still don't have it. Let me just cross check if the subject is correct. Yeah, this is correct one. Okay, so now you can see we have picked up the file. MuleSoft Flow has picked up the file, and our processing has been started. Okay, and we'll soon see that the document will be published. So as you can see, the attachment has been picked up, and these are the name of that attachment and what is the type of the attachment. So once we have published this to IDP, within couple of seconds we could see a notification also came through IDP saying that the request is ready to consume. So it will take some time uh, to reflect the logs here, right? So I'm just refreshing it. Let's give it another 10 seconds. Okay, cool. So now completed document submission flow. Okay, then if you see, right, after few seconds we have received a notification from IDP. Okay, and then we have extracted the document and we have stored it. I believe I'm looking at the correct one. Okay, sorry, I was looking at the older one. So yeah, so document has submission has been completed. Then we have received a notification with this exit, and then document has been successfully extracted. So now if I refresh this, I could see two records in here. So this one, the second record has been added. So it has almost same information. So that's why it looks like same, but based on the correlation ID, I believe we can identify our record. Okay. Okay. I guess I have picked up something wrong here. Okay, I don't know.
You need to copy the execution ID instead of event ID.
Okay, I have given the execution ID. Sorry, I thought it's a correlation ID. It's been a long time I have developed. Thanks, I guess. Thanks for that. Let's see this one. Okay, so this is the latest one what we have received now, right? So now what I'll do, I'll just submit a negative scenario form where we have a missing ID, and we'll cover with the other slides quickly as we have a limited time, and then we'll see how the review will work. Let me just add field missing. Okay, I'll send this. Okay. Now I'll just go back to the slide. Meanwhile, it's done. It will complete the processing. Okay. So we have seen the demo. Uh, so now with this, right, we have achieved this automation here. Okay. So field technician can directly submit, take a photo, send an email through MuleSoft IDP. We will process that and directly stored into database. So how we have automated the manual processing by technician to visit the office and then analysis to fill out the data into a database. Okay. So these are some quick facts. So again, I have collected all this somewhere around September. Sorry, I didn't realize that we have got the new releases until today morning, so I didn't get chance to update this. But yeah, this is as of October, the data what I have collected. So Santil, you have asked, right, what all format has been supported. So as of October, PDF, PNG, and JPG was the supported format. Okay. The file size limit through UI, if we are uploading a file, it's 8 MB per file. If we are going via API, it's a 10 MB per file. Prompt limits, as I said, right, it's a 30 per document. More the beyond that, we cannot create a prompt. Document action editor storage. So IDP temporarily stored the file, and as soon as we moved out from the UI, the we will lose the document. And if the we are going via API, right, then it will store on the S3 bucket nearest to your runtime plane. Okay, it will store there. The document retention policy, if it's a successful, it will be available for 7 days. For if it is needed for a human review, once the review is done after 7 days, it will be available. And for any incomplete, it will be available up to 60 days. Okay. And S3 storage details, it's supposed to region, Virginia in US, Frankfurt, Germany in UE. And as I said, right, it stored the data closest to your any point control plane region to ensure the GDPR requirements. Okay. So these are some reference documents. Feel free to go through this. And as I said, right, the the structure we have already seen, right, how the response look like. So in this two document, I have given whatever we have covered throughout the session, right. I have detailed out each and every point. So first document explain what the IDP is and how we can create a document action. The second document talks about how we could utilize the IDP APIs in our integrations. Okay, so you could find all the details how we could build the integration, how we could expect the response structure, what would the format, how the notification endpoint can be developed and designed, and how the retrieval process will work. Okay, all these details will be find you can find it here. Now let me see the if the other document has just already. Okay, we are yet to get that file. Meanwhile, we are waiting for this file. Right? I just wanted to show you how this review process works. Okay, so if you guys can stay for another 2 to 3 minutes, that would be helpful. But meanwhile, if anyone has any questions, right, please let me know.
So you have put all this information in your blog also, right, Venkatesh?
Yes, yes, because everything is there. I have wrote two blog, intelligent document
Okay.
processing, and this one.
Maybe you can share this into the chat window so that we can take a look also.
Sure. Yeah.
Venkatesh, can you show that field report portal also?
Yeah.
I just missed that how that portal is get created here.
No, no, this is just a custom code what I have in the MuleSoft. Okay, it is not coming as out of the box. So
So
in the
you
code, what? Yeah, yeah, in the
you
code I
developed that
have. Yes,
HTTP sorry means HTML page.
yes, yes. So what I have done, right? I have retrieved all the data from the object
Hmm.
store. Okay, and in the transformation, I have created one template. Uh, so I have just generated a key value pair here, and I have created a template here, and in that template I'm replacing all the details. Okay, so as you see here, I'm returning a text claim as a response, and I have added header, footer, and whatever keys I'm getting it right from my object store, that I'm adding to each and individual cell.
Okay.
So that code I have created. It will not come from the IDP.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So we do have other this one also report where you could see a JSON response. JSON response from the object store. Okay, so from object store we'll get like this. Okay, just for
Okay. Yeah.
good visualization, I have put it in the HTML. Okay,
Same JSON this convert to it into HTML format.
exactly. Yes, and again, this is through a MuleSoft, nothing to do with the IDP.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Correct.
I'll just
Yeah. It is completely
mhm. Yeah,
extra tasks you did that. This is really appreciable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Good thing.
thanks. Yeah, thank you.
It's
Yeah, it
noted.
gives a good visualization, right?
Yeah. Exactly. For end user, it's really helpful
Yeah,
for that one.
sure. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I have added this two links here, and let's see if we have received the response. Okay, so got the response. Now let me see if I have received the email. So if you see, right, I have received a new email which says issue with the document processing, manual review required. Okay, now if I go to my IDP under review task, I could see one task has been created. So this was I have created in the morning. So ignore this. So this was created 3 minutes ago. So as you can see, it was the IDP was not able to find requested by field as this empty. That's why we got an error. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll just add a Venkatesh here and I'll just submit it. So as for flow, as soon as I submit this one, let it complete. Okay, submit done. So as for our flow, we were here. So as soon as someone manually submit this, I should expect another notification on the same endpoint. So let me quickly go there. Where is the runtime manager? So you see, right, notification has been received. Okay. Uh, as soon as I submit, so we should see three requests now. Okay, and this one is the latest one with the requested by Venkatesh. So this is how your manual processing will also work. Sorry, manual review and submission will work. And Santil, I talked about the release notes, right? So this is the release notes page. I'm sorry, we are already 7 minutes over. But whatever I have in the PPT, that was up to release uh, this September release, whatever data I have. After that, we have October release, November release, and then recently we got a February release also, Santil.
Mhm.
So it has some new. You can see, right? You can now analyze any type of document. That's what it is written
Okay.
through
Okay.
generic. So what I'm understanding from this, all documents are supported now. That's what I'm getting out of it. Something. But yeah,
Okay.
definitely I'll try this out and I'll let you know. So
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
Yep. Thank you.
okay. So yeah, I guess that's all from
Yep.
mine.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
over
Venkatesh.
to you now.
Thank you, Venkatesh. It was really an insightful session. So, guys, if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and ask to Venkatesh. Fine, I think no questions, no more questions, Venkatesh. And if
I have one
once
question,
again,
because just a second.
yes, yes, please, yes, please, yes, Nikhil.
Yeah, Venkatesh, if we this integration is did from mailbox, right? We are fetching the documents from mailbox. This we can do it from SFTP, right? That
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we can do
Uh,
that
uh,
from there also.
yes,
Uh,
yes, yes.
but
Because
I just
Mhm.
mhm.
Go on,
I just
go
have a
on, go
question,
on.
like we are doing this one as a we are processing document one by one. It's a synchronous process, right? We documents we can't process it in time. So actually callback is also one of the option. But suppose in SFTP I have multiple documents in a different folders. So suppose purchase order there is a one folder, and in there is a one folder like that for that vendor, and I want to process that simultaneously. So in a sync flow, how can I do that?
I guess that's up to our MuleSoft design, right? So what we have to do to what we have to give to IDP is the document, right? Now it's up to
Mhm.
us how we want to give it, right? Uh, so if you go through the UI, IDP UI, okay, where it is, sorry, okay. So here, if I go to document action, I open demo form. So if you see here, right, when I go to select, I could upload multiple files. Okay, I could upload multiple files into it, and it will does a simultaneous processing here also. But now your question is that you have files in different folders,
Hmm.
right? So it's up to us how we will write a logic. If I have to write a logic, I'll be having a schedule based process. Okay, if you want to have it in a single scheduler, we will get the all the list of routes as in the directory path. Let's say I have to process files from three different directory, so I could make a use of scatter gather within a MuleSoft flow within the same scheduler, pull out the information and send it to a document
Document.
action. That's one of the approach. Second approach, I could have a three different scheduler to pull out. So again, as per me, it's up to us how we want to design it based on our requirement.
Yeah, got it.
But yeah, if you provide that to IDP, definitely it will extract the content. Vikas, until anything you want to add to this?
No, Venkatesh, I think we are good.
Thanks, Venkatesh.
Senthil, do you have anything?
No, English. Thanks.
No. Thank you, Venkatesh,
Sure.
and thank you everyone
Thanks.
for sparing out the
Yeah,
time on the
thanks for
weekend and learn something new about IDP. Thank you, and have a good weekend, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.
thanks
Thanks for
for
Bye.
being here.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.